Hey guys, welcome back to the Hoops Post Up. We're here to talk fantasy again, this time risers and fallers of the past week. It's just a couple weeks into the new year, that's right, 2020. And let's see who's on the rise and who you might want to ditch in your fantasy leagues.
Okay, everyone, so today we are talking fantasy risers and fallers. First of all, before we get started, if you like our content and you appreciate what we do, go ahead and subscribe and click that notification bell so that you will know exactly when our videos hit live.
That's right. Try to alternate here. We do fantasy every week for the most part. We'll either do sleepers or risers and fallers this time. Obviously, you get the up and down. So let's get to it. So, this is the Fantasy 5. Let's talk about 5 risers. And we're going to start with somebody who we have affectionately nicknamed Redhead Slick. That's right, Kevin Herter. And he sure hurt the Spurs just the other night, didn't he?
Oh my gosh, it was painful watching. He's pretty slick. He really is. He came out of nowhere and it's like, oh my goodness. His 3-point play, oh my God, it was painful.
You can see his 3-pointers on the rise. So this is a guy already was on our radar even before that game. I have to throw this in. What's up with the Spurs losing to the Hawks twice this year? Hawks have like 10 wins.
Why do you have to bring that up?
Anyways,
that's extremely painful.
But it was Herter who put in that last shot, but he was already on the rise. And you look at this last 8 games, almost 18 points per game, close to 4 threes made, and 43%. He's shooting lights out. Missed a big chunk of the season, obviously, injury, and then was being a little inconsistent. Obviously, a very young player, but man, he's living up to what they were hoping when they selected him last year. And out of all the young players in Atlanta, I know Ice Trey is the one getting all the pub, but I mean, he might be.
I'm telling you, he was slick and sly and behind the scenes, and nobody was paying attention, and he was lighting it up.
That's right. So might not be available. Obviously, getting picked up all over the place lately, but by my count, still 62% owned in Yahoo leagues. That means pretty good chance he's available if you're a 12-team league or deeper. So definitely look out. He's a must-add at this point. I mean, must-add.
Definitely. So now we have Darius Garland. Okay, he's coming out of Cleveland. He's 46% owned. What is he doing as of late?
Becoming more of a shooter, a little more effective. You see the percentage, at least for the 3-point range, hasn't really gone up, but he's taking a lot more, so the volume is there, and that's a good sign. With Clarkson gone, we talked about Jordan Clarkson just a couple of weeks ago. The fact that he went to Utah, people thought that would kill his value. It hasn't. But it's helping, and you know what? If Kevin Love does get traded, which we also talked about just a couple of weeks ago, right?
Find our other videos, and you can check that out.
Trade machine. If Kevin Love goes, that's just more shots to go around for everybody, right?
Definitely.
So anyways,
someone to look at, right? Darius Garland.
Garland's usage has gone up. That's a good sign. But yeah, definitely on the rise. So keep an eye out if you do need a point guard because he's scoring and getting 6 assists per game. That's what's gone up.
That's what's huge.
So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right. So then we have Eric Gordon from Houston. 44% owned. Okay. So previously he was scoring 13 points. Now he's at almost 17. Taking a look at his, I see his 3-point percentage definitely going up.
And making more. So Gordon, of course, has missed several weeks, just activated not that long ago. Here's the thing with Gordon, he's part of that offense. We know what's going to happen, right? He's there to shoot and to keep shooting. At least
it's a 3-point team.
Anytime Harden takes a 5-minute breather, that's basically the only time anybody else gets to touch the ball. But anyways, Gordon's been dropped in a lot of leagues because of the injury and then kind of having a down season compared to the last couple of years. But if you notice, he's kind of been back to the old Gordon. So forgotten about in a lot of leagues. This is the time to scoop him back up if you need help, of course, in points and 3-pointers.
All right, so now we have Dillon Brooks from Memphis. Dillon Brooks. Okay, so he's 43% owned. And I'm looking at his points. They've gone up. They have gone up.
Quite a bit. Nothing else has really gone up too much other than the scoring. Memphis, young team on the rise. We talked about their
They
guard
do well.
situation. I think last week we had D'Anthony Melton as a sleeper. Brooks is,
Slow-mo.
but Brooks has been hot. You know what? May not last the rest of the season, but nothing else. Ride the hot hand. That's what they say.
All right. So now we have Luke Cornett. Luke, tell me what's up with Luke. He's not owned. Why do I want to put him on my roster? What the heck is going on?
Somebody has to play center for Chicago.
Yeah, apparently. So the starter gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Then the backup gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have
So-
no other choice other than to put in Sweet Luke.
That's right. So, I actually am interested in him personally because I had Wendell Carter on my fantasy team, had to drop him. I guess I didn't have to, but yeah, I'm not going to hold on to him for
They're out for 6 weeks, aren't they?
6 to 8, I think. And then looking actually originally on here had Daniel Gafford, and then of course what happens? He jams his thumb. He's out for a little while. So Cornett, you know what? If nothing else, you need blocks. Look at him. Last 3 games, averaging almost 2 blocks per game, and the minutes should go up if he's effective. So if you
I
need
like
a big
the
man,
rebounds. The rebounds are definitely going up.
and the rebounds, I mean, just sheer opportunity, right? It's going to be there. Don't expect a lot of scoring, but obviously you need a center to fill in for Carter. You're not looking for a ton of points anyways.
Excellent. So those are our risers. Now let's take a look at the fallers.
That's right. 5 more for you.
All right. So our first up, and everyone has been talking about this point guard who has just been, I want to say ditched, but traded, right? Jeff Teague was traded.
He might get ditched. Yeah, well, and you see that's a little, they does still say Minnesota, my bad there. He's with Atlanta now, and I had him as a follower even before the trade. So this actually isn't a result of the trade. Look at the last 3, his points cut in half. He just hadn't been as effective, which part of the reason, obviously, why
he's
Minnesota
a faller.
dealt
He's a
him.
top one, yeah.
So here's the thing. What's going to happen? Do you really think Atlanta wants and needs Jeff Teague for a run at the playoffs this year?
I think Atlanta has something brewing back behind for us not to know.
Yeah.
I really do. Behind closed doors, something is happening. Something is going on there because Jeff Teague was on Atlanta.
True.
And then he was traded to Minnesota.
I think he signed. I don't know. I think he signed a deal there. I think
Okay,
he's a free
so
agent.
whatever. He's with Minnesota now. Now he's back with Atlanta, right?
Because they missed him so much. Is that why?
I guess, but does Atlanta need a point guard? Hello, who's firing it up?
I think Trae Young is
Trae Young is like hurting
pretty
everybody.
good. And this is a team that, again, we just talked about watching them. They just won their 10th game of the year.
Yeah.
Are they really going to make a playoff run?
And 2 against the Spurs.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
Are they going to make a playoff run this year? No.
No.
So, yeah, don't expect him to stay with Atlanta too long. I'm expecting they're either just going to release him outright, save that money, or
Definitely.
make a deal.
Points dump. You may want to get rid of him.
Yeah, so 71% owned. A lot of people had him, if not as a starter, as a point guard or your guard position coming off the bench. It's going to be tough to cut him out right now. If he goes to a team like maybe the Lakers, right? Maybe a situation where he is a backup, but on a really good team.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you'd say, well, obviously being on a team like the Lakers is better than being on the Atlanta or the Wolves, but he's probably not going to get as many minutes, as much opportunity.
I wouldn't have him filling my roster. Not for fantasy when everything matters.
Yeah, I'd rather have a guy who's on the rise.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Okay, so now we're going to look at Jeremy Lamb from Indiana. He's 70% owned, but look what's going on with him. His points are dropping. Oh my goodness.
Quite a bit. There's no explanation. I mean, really kind of the reverse of the Dylan Brooks thing. He's just cold. So he'll probably snap out of it. But here's the problem in Indiana. Again, team context here. Victor Oladipo looks like he's set to return. Thank God. It's about time.
Can't wait to watch that.
And then Brogdon's already back. And the holidays are doing pretty well. I just think that the usage is going to go down here. So he's really kind of up and down. Really just counting on points from him, a few rebounds here and there. But it's just kind of tough to find a place for him. You know what I mean? He's not helping you as much as he might be.
Exactly. Okay, so let's take a look at Gary Harris from Denver. Okay, he's 57% owned, so quite a bit of people own him, but he's taken a little dip. I don't see too much of a dip, but tell me why I want to get rid of him.
Well, obviously, he's not playing the last couple of games. He's got that abductor strain. That's not even the reason, honestly. So this guy, not to offend any Nuggets fans or Gary Harris himself, I really don't see why he belongs on a fantasy roster because he's a good player. Look, he's one of those players, good in real life, better in real life than in fantasy.
Yes, and there's always that player, right? When you're thinking actual playing time, etc., and then you have the fantasy world, and some players just don't work out in fantasy, even though they're amazing players and they're quality players and they're
solid
you've taught me
player,
that.
but again, what is he really doing for you statistically? Especially you're talking roto leagues. I mean, he'll get you double-digit points barely. I mean, look at that. During the season, he was averaging 11 points. And then again, he's fallen a little bit off the last couple of years just because he's not the focal point of the offense. They got, Jokic and Jamal Murray and all these other guys. But besides that, he's just not doing enough elsewhere. Steals, I put up there. That's the only category maybe he's helping you, but
no, but not much.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not
okay,
enough. So to me, the injury is just kind of icing on the cake. I'd rather move on and go somewhere else.
All right, get rid of him. Try somebody new. All right, next up, Macaulay Stein. We actually had him on our risers a few weeks ago. We actually did. And we thought the potential was there. He was going to excel. We thought for sure because he was going to have more playing time. But guess what? We're here to analyze. We're here to support you. And you know what? You may want to rethink that.
Yeah, I mean, Golden State's still a mess, but we still don't know who's...
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's Golden State's fault.
I mean, yeah. And the thing is, he's kind of fallen out of favor. He's not producing as much as we thought. The numbers themselves, they haven't taken a big drop. But here's the thing. He's also a guy who might get dealt. And if he gets dealt, he'll be a backup somewhere else. Maybe a better team. I mean, he can't be a worse team right now. But still, he's just not living up to expectations either. He's a guy who had the opportunity and hasn't taken advantage.
And he didn't take advantage of it. At least, no.
I think you got to move on.
What we've seen, and his stats don't show it.
And if he stays stuck in Golden State, it looks like Kerr's kind of moving elsewhere with other players.
Excellent. All right. So now we're looking at Jackson Hayes from New Orleans, and there is a huge reason why he's going to be falling.
A 6'9" reason. How much did he weigh? So a guy you might have heard of named Zion.
Yep. He's coming back. Finally, we get to watch him. Oh my gosh.
Finally.
Yes.
And first game back it's supposed to be, I think, against the Spurs, isn't it? Like the 29th or something.
Yes, we are totally looking forward to that. We have it on record just in case we get it a little late.
Yep.
But yes, definitely. So Jackson Hayes,
he's going to lose minutes.
He's going to lose some time, right? His numbers look about the same, but that's why we have him up here as a faller. Because he's getting replaced.
Again, always looking forward. So even though you look back and say the last couple of games, well, it's the same. But you know what? You have to obviously project ahead a week from now. It's just not, right? Not going to be the same minute-wise. Obviously, that's going to hurt him all across the board. And realistically, he's not a guy that's vital to your lineup anyways. You got to be in a pretty deep league, really, if you own Jackson Hayes.
That's right. So all you fantasy players, you better make sure you take Zion off your bench and put him back in because he's coming back.
Hopefully you had an IR spot. If not, then he's been on your bench, taking up that spot. Get ready to make some moves. So if you have any of these guys, you might want to drop them.
Excellent. All right, everyone. So that was this episode of our Fantasy NBA Risers and Fallers. Fantasy 5. So, yes, take a look at what we recommend. Take a look at what we suggest. And let me tell you, this guy's the expert. So shoot him up with any comments. Comment below. We'd love to hear from you.
That's right. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already and check out our other videos, especially our trade machine, guys. The trade deadline is coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to break down all the possible trades that could happen. And if they do, of course, we can say we called it first.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all of our subscribers. We are here for you. So tell us what you want to see. Tell us what content you want us to put out, and we will see you in the next one. Peace and love, everyone.
Peace.
Woo! Peace. His 3-point percentages or his pre. So let's go ahead and take a look. Sorry. Okay, you're going to edit that out.
Take a nookie.
Take a nook. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you so much for all of our Thank you, everyone, for.
Is there a fly?
No, it's like Lent. Okay, one more time. Take
28.
6. Okay. We're hearing you. We're ready.
We will wed you.
We will wed you. Okay.